Inside this video right here, I'm going to talk to you about whether you should be an ER tech, an EMT, or maybe even both. Let's talk about it. I want to help decrease failure rates for NREMT, for EMT school, for paramedic school. Watch these videos, watch this content, and believe me, you will start to understand EMS medicine. Anybody out there that wants to serve their community as an EMT or a paramedic should be able to do that, and I'm here as a paramedic coach to help you achieve that. Hey everyone, what's going on? It is the paramedic coach here, back at you with another video. And if you're new here, click subscribe down below and be sure to tap that notification bell as well. If you're new here, make sure you get all the new content we put out every week, multiple videos every single week on EMS. And finally, everybody watching this video, do me a solid and hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so more EMS providers can see this content for free right here on YouTube. Now, what I want to talk about in this video right here is very important. This is about career advice, okay? Should you become an ER tech or should you become an EMT? Now, what I want to go over is some of the pros and cons of being an ER tech and then some of the pros and cons of being an EMT. Now, make sure you stay till the end of this video. I'm going to give you my exact action strategy to make this all happen, to get these jobs, okay? So, the first things first, ER tech. One of the big pros is you're working right alongside nurses and doctors. So, a few different people. Let's say you want to gain emergency medicine experience. You're doing that. Let's say you want to become a nurse, a PA, nurse practitioner, physician. You're working right alongside them. That's great. So that checks box number one, right? Now, number two is you're getting a different patient experience than the ambulance, right? In the ambulance, you're going to someone's home, treating them there quickly, moving them into the ambulance, treating them there quickly, then bringing them into the hospital. Now, when you're working in the ER, the patient isn't moving. They're either going to move to go home or they're going to move to get a bed somewhere, right? So they're not moving, right? They're going to be in the ER for a little while, usually a few hours, right? At least, okay? So you're going to be with the patient for hours versus minutes, okay, as an EMT. So that, I would say, is a big difference between ER tech and EMT as well, okay? Now, one of the other things about an ER tech is you may have an expanded scope of practice versus an EMT. So an EMT is basic life support. EMTs aren't doing blood draws. Not all EMTs are doing 12-lead EKGs. And you're going to be learning some things that, quite honestly, you might not learn in EMS because you're in the ER, right? Pretty cool. So that would be some of the major pros as an ER tech. Now, the cons about the ER tech, from what I hear from other people that I know that work as ER techs, is you are definitely very, very busy. And they say that, oh, I'm very busy. Well, the thing is, you're busy in anything that you do. I don't consider that a con, but a lot of people say it all the time, oh, I'm so worked as an ER tech, I'm so busy. And you think as an EMT that you're not? Of course you're busy. Now, the thing is, there is one little difference, though. I will mention this. As an EMT, let's say you're a 911 provider as an EMT versus an ER tech. The ER tech is constantly being supervised at work, constantly, right? While they're working, right? And there's constantly a flow of patients coming in, right? For the most part, right? In most ERs across America, right? Now, the thing is this, here's the difference. As an EMT, if you don't have a call, what happens? You're technically not working. Maybe you're doing a chore on the base, maybe you're checking your equipment, right? But you're waiting for the next call to come in, right? So you're on standby, basically. So that is a big difference between an ER tech and an EMT for sure, okay? Now, that is a big thing that people say about ER techs is that you're constantly working. But more about that. As an ER tech, you will be doing whatever needs to be done, okay? So what I mean by that is if you got to run to the lab, and literally run to the lab, you'll be the one running to the lab, right? You'll be doing whatever needs to be done by the nurse That'll be in your hands, okay? So if we look at the EMT position on the other side, it's obviously a little different, right? And let's talk about that. Now let's talk more about the EMT position versus the ER tech. Now one thing I didn't mention I want to make sure that you know about is in some areas an ER tech could be filled by an advanced EMT or a paramedic. So two things here. I'd say this is another con for ER tech, but I want to bring it up. It's very important. In some areas, ER techs, they're looking for paramedics. They're looking for advanced EMTs because they know how to do IVs, right? This is why I always say if you're really trying to build a career in EMS, you go to the next step, get your advanced, get your paramedic, right? We talk about that all the time, but it's something important. It just opens up more jobs for you, including if you really want to work as an ER tech, right? Now, that is something that is not a rule, but it depends on your area. Some areas, they'll hire EMTs. They're fine with that. Some areas, and they'll train you on the job. Some areas, nope, we want a paramedic. We want them to know how to do all this already. Depends on the area. You'll have to see the requirements for that job. But please, look all over. That's your job to do that, right? Now, let's talk about the EMT role, some of the pros. Some of the pros of the EMT role, obviously, if you enjoy a very, very fast-paced environment, you enjoy being out on the road, you don't want to be inside all day, you want to be outside, you want to be able to roam around a base, right? There's a lot of advantages, and I think a lot of people, not only just people that like an adrenaline rush or thrill seekers, maybe you're someone that can think really critically, you're out on the street, right? You could be treating somebody in all kinds of places. You can be going to a factory, a place of work, you can be going to a restaurant. You could also be in an alleyway, a bathroom, okay? I know it may sound interesting or maybe even funny to some of you that are in EMS with our humor, but it's true, okay? You could be anywhere treating a patient at any time. So your variety of patients, where you're going to be, what kind of calls you get, it is. And even if you've been doing it for a long time, you'll still get that adrenaline rush from what you're doing. It's awesome, all right? Now, with this video, another thing about the EMT is let's say you're two EMTs working in an ambulance. Technically, there's nobody who would be, for lack of a better word, my friends, supervising you or, watching over what you're doing. It's you and your partner in the ambulance treating the patient, and that's it. So that is one of the other things that you're going to find as a big pro as an EMT. Now, one of the cons of EMS, obviously, can be burnout. Just seeing the things and being on some of the scenes that you can be in as an EMT and that really, really fast rate of care, right? It can definitely get to some people. It's definitely a very high stress environment with a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. Again, we think about it as an EMT or even a paramedic, right? Whatever we're talking about here, EMS in general is there is nobody else there. So everything does go onto your shoulders. For that time you're with the patient, you are in charge, which can be great on one end, which is it's great, a high level of responsibility, but a high level of responsibility comes with a lot of stress, a lot of burnout, right? A lot of maybe I'm second guessing myself, right? So that's something that you want to think about. Do you want to have that responsibility, right? That's another thing that you want to think about as well, okay? Now, another con of EMS, like we talked about earlier, is that you're only with the patient for a small amount of time. So if you're really looking to get more time with your patients, you're only going to have 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes with your patients, then you're going to pass that off. Now, I talk about a transport. The whole call could be an hour, right? It could be 45 minutes. But, a transport, 10, 20, 30 minutes, right? In most areas. Some areas could be even shorter. It could be a 5-minute transport. Give you an idea, right? So you're not going to be with a patient for a very long time. You're going to go from patient to patient to patient to patient. So if you like that, then the EMS might be better than being with one patient for 3-4 hours, okay? Make sense? Now, my friends, here's my last piece of information here about ER Tech versus EMT, and I'm going to give you an action plan as well. It's very important. So when we're talking about creating your schedule, maybe you want to work 30, 40, 50 hours a week. Some of us like to work overtime, right? It's completely up to you. I want you to take a piece of paper and write out what your ideal lifestyle with work, what would it look like, okay? What would you do? And I want you to go out and look for jobs that fit in to what you're trying to do, right? Maybe, for example, you want to work 50 hours a week, 30 at one, 20 at the other. Maybe one's full-time with 36 hours. And so, you know what, I'm going to pick up a shift or two a week, per diem or part-time if I want to, right? That's all cool, right? But that's a personal decision based on you. Now, there's a lot of different options. I know full-time EMTs that work part-time as ER techs. I know full-time ER techs that they have that itch, they want to get out on the road and they really want to work as an EMT, and they volunteer as an EMT. They don't want to search for some sort of part-time job or something. It's like, you know what? I love this. I'm going to volunteer as an EMT whenever I like, but I'm going to work full-time as an ER tech. Both options work. Now, a quick tip I want to give you. This could help you. Let's say you're an EMT and you're basic life support, right? And maybe you're in an area where they require you to actually learn how to actually do blood draw, stuff like that, right? I'd say the fastest way, there's two options for you. What's best for you? You could go to advanced EMT school. It's a lot faster than paramedic school, right? That's your goal, and you'll be able to learn the IV access. Or you can just go take a simple phlebotomy course, right? And now you know how to do it. Both ways would work, all right? Obviously, look at the qualifications of what they're looking for, obviously, in the job. But that's a way that you can get ahead fairly quickly if that's what you want to do. Here is my action tip for you, whether it's ER tech or EMT. This is my action tip. If right now you're watching this video and you've decided, you know what, Evan, paramedic coach, I want to work in emergency medicine. Okay, great. Well, right now, you may not have any certification. What is the first step that I recommend you do? Take an EMT class. Is my recommendation to you. Take an EMT class. Because an EMT class is going to be like a little preview into emergency medicine for you. An EMT class is only about 3-4 months long, right? It's pretty short usually. Some are even more accelerated. I would recommend a 3-4 month class though, right? Take it slow to absorb the content. It's already going to be accelerated, trust me, at 3 months. So I recommend a 3-month EMT class. But if you do that, they'll hire EMTs as ER techs, and they'll hire EMTs as an EMT, duh. So that's my first action step for you. Get your national registry no matter where you are in America. I don't care if your state doesn't have national registry, get national registry. Now, if you're watching this video right now and you are getting ready for EMT school, you're in EMT class right now, or you're getting ready for your national registry EMT, grab down below. Grab my prep course for EMTs, right? This will help you so much, so tremendously getting prepared for your career as an EMT. I know that those of you watching this video right now that are taking this seriously will take action on the prep course. Now here's why. You get access to 160 videos of content, number one. Number two, you get access to me as your coach throughout it's lifetime access. Throughout your career, I'm right there. We have a private community of people who have gotten access to the course. We're in the thousands that are inside the course, learning every day. And it's not only just education for school. My friends, I give on-the-job tips, practical tips, plus the exact strategies to help you better understand the content so you can pass school and exams, but also be great when you're in front of your patients when you're working out on the road. And that's what we do here at the Paramedic Coach. You want to grab it, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and this will get you started on the right track with your new career.
Like everything that you were saying was just connecting all these links inside my brain, and I just knew right then and there, I have to have this program. I have to have all the information that he's willing to give. I need all of it.
I went through it. I spent the time and money in other areas, and I'm just going to let you guys know that this was everything I was searching for the whole time. The first couple of videos I watched, what I noticed, I just immediately started connecting dots on some of these things I didn't have grasp.
Went on there, then I continued reviewing, and I did it for about a month, and it helped a lot. Like I said, even after school, and I took that test one time, and I passed it.
Your particular program, you have your students engaging, and you have your students discussing, and you have your students actually using your products. And I'm seeing time and time again students that are coming in and announcing their new certification with National Registry.
Results, obviously passing the exam, doing it pretty quickly, 70 questions in about an hour.
Well, you definitely are like how your videos are. Like, I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but you are how your videos are. So that was awesome.
So people who are getting ready for paramedic school, or if you're getting ready to go in the Navy as a corpsman or as an Army medic, you want to prepare yourself. Evan, I know you got a program that helps people prepare that way. So bottom line is, guys, you don't ever want to hear something for the first time with a bunch of other students. So if you're in a competitive learning environment, you don't want to hear about AFib for the first time where everybody else, you want to have an understanding of it before you walk in the room.
From 120 questions, passing 2 sections, near passing 1, and then I think 2 below passing to 70 questions passing completely.
$7,000 for school plus everything else that you put into it all the time, and all the time off work and family and everything. It's to see people fail and fail and fail and then just quit, which I know a couple people who have. I tend to say, it doesn't hurt to have somebody right there to talk to, send a question.
Anytime I get the chance, I will gladly offer or advise them to sign up for you and your paramedic coach. It's truly helpful and amazing at what you do.
I want to help decrease failure rates for NREMT, for EMT school, for paramedic school. Watch these videos, watch this content, and believe me, you will start to understand EMS medicine. Anybody out there that wants to serve their community as an EMT or a paramedic should be able to do that, and I'm here as the paramedic coach to help you achieve that.